Hello friends, 543 days of war. From the war zone, starting from the south towards Zaporizhia. In Rabotino, the Ukrainians are trying to establish themselves in north, east and northeast outskirts of the village. Towards Rimivka, regrouping and reinforcements of Ukrainian forces in Staromayorsky and Urozhain is on in the grey zone after the Russian army withdrew from there. On this salient towards south, the Ukrainian army is continuing limited offensive towards Zavitne Bazam. It is also carrying out offensive towards Pryutne as well as Novodonetsk. Russians are carrying out heavy shelling on the Ukrainian accumulation on Staromlinovka-Kermenchik highway. Towards Kherson, the Russian army captured Ukrainian weapons at Kozak camp bridgeheads. Fight at Antonivsky Bridge continues. The Ukrainian reinforcements continue amassing on left bank of Dnieper river despite being eliminated. To summarize, as far as south is concerned, the Ukrainians managed tactical gains but with heavy losses. For example, they lost 23 out of 31 German armored personnel carriers. In east, on Bakhmut front, status quo remains in northwest as well as southwest flanks. On Klishivka-Andriivka-Kurdyumovka line, the Ukrainians are continuing their limited offensive. It also attacked towards Barkhovka but did not succeed. Avdiivka-Ugledar reports reduced hostilities. Towards Marinka, the Russian military reportedly facing fatigue both in troops as well as supply of weapons, as reported by one of the Russian bloggers, and is therefore unable to push the Ukrainians from the left over Marinka. In Donetsk region, it seems Ukrainians are almost on the parity with the Russian army in artillery range and lethality, as well as on occasions in uses of drones. In north, on Kupiansk-Swatovo line, the Russian army is continuing its offensive with the aim of reaching Oskal with a speed which is quite impressive as reported, almost 1 to 1.5 km per day. There are no changes as far as the Vuriknaya area is concerned since weeks. The Russian army as of now is continuing its attack on northeast Kupiansk. Sinkivka holds. Towards Kremenaya, the Ukrainian counterattacks on Torsky salient and Serebryansky forestry did not yield any result. Interdiction missions are on from both the sides, quite heavy. The Russians used drones as well as missiles to hit Zhytomyr, Khmelnytsky, where huge explosions were reported, Poltava, Vinnytsia, Zaporizhia, Kherson region towards Torsky. They also hit a hotel in Chernihiv with Iskander, and there are lots of hue and cry in Western media that this was an attack on the civilian establishment, while Russian sources report that 54 killed and almost 90 injured, had only 3 civilians. Rest were having meeting on UAVs, which included many mercenaries, dead and wounded being evacuated back to Poland. Ukrainians shelled Bryansk, Belgorod using cluster bombs for Donetsk region. They also attacked Crimea with S-200 air defense weapon system. All these Ukrainian interdiction missions do not seem to be merely meant to harm Russian military targets, but continuing indiscriminately with the sole aim of breaking barriers of Western aid to Ukraine from so-called defensive weapon system to offensive weapon ones, including large-range weapons, more than 2 to 300 kilometers, with the aim of destroying Russia strategically. In Africa, Niger military government has proposed to ECOWAS a maximum of 3 years period for transition to a civil elected government, and this puts ECOWAS and its Western master in a doldrum where to intervene militarily or not. Well, that's all for the day, friends. See you tomorrow.